Hi there, I'm Mark Generalis. I'm a member of the South Florida Water Management District's RAC. As a member, I'm pretty honored to be part of a forum whose sole purpose is to improve public participation, decision-making, and finding solutions to our region's water resource challenges. One of those challenges is right in my own backyard. It's the place where I live, it's where I work, it's where I play, right on the Caloosahatchee River, the estuary that is located along Florida's southwest coast. Since the 1800s, residential and agricultural development has been pretty significant. As a consequence, the estuary's health has been suffering because of unintended impacts to natural water flows. Today, the Caloosahatchee receives far too much stormwater runoff during the wet season and way too little freshwater flow in the dry season. In both cases, it harms the ecosystem. One of the solutions to this challenge is building more water storage facilities, like the Caloosahatchee River West Basin Storage Reservoir, otherwise known as the C43 for short. Construction is well underway by the South Florida Water Management District, and when complete, the Caloosahatchee Reservoir will help reduce harmful freshwater discharges to the river. Let's catch up with Governing Board Member Jaime Weisinger. He's on the construction site and is going to take us on a tour of the progress.
So we're up here at the top of one of the mounds at the C43 Reservoir, and we're looking out over the expanse of what will be a total of 55 billion gallons of water. That's an amazing amount of water. In fact, if you took all that water, it would be able to cover up the entire island of Manhattan with 12 feet of water. It's important because the C43 Reservoir was designed to capture a good part of the basin runoff in this area before it is allowed to go into the river. That way we will be able to control the releases into the Caloosahatchee River, which in turn should help control the salinities in the estuary. Important to understand that the estuary where the Caloosahatchee River meets the Gulf of Mexico is made up of two different types of water. We call it brackish because it's made up partly of salt water and partly of fresh water. That combination of those waters is a very delicate balance of salinity. And if those balances are off, it can affect the oyster population, the fish population. And so the advantage that we'll have once we build the C43 Reservoir is we'll be able to control the basin runoff, and some of the releases from Lake Okeechobee, we'll be able to control that. In the rainy season, we'll be able to hold back water, allow that estuary to maintain its own balance. And in dry season, we'll be allowed to feed that estuary some of that fresh water that it needs to maintain the fish stocks and the oyster stocks.
What are those strange pyramids of sand? C43 Reservoir Project Manager Joe Albers is going to explain.
The 7 preload mounds were constructed to consolidate the foundation of the reservoir. The reservoir site is underlain by a thick clay layer which is ideal for containing water, but clay is much more compressible than sand. The height of these mounds is 56 feet high, even though the dam will only be about 30 to 35 feet high. The additional height is to give enough additional weight so that we can compress the foundation and be assured that the structures will not settle at a later date when we build the dam. Approximately 2 million cubic yards of material was excavated on site for the construction of these 7 preload mounds. The material is a nice clean sand that we will recover for later use in construction of the reservoir. We will mix it with cement and create a hard surface lining of both reservoir cells 1 and 2 to prevent them from eroding.
Now let's check in with Construction Manager Tom McKernan, who's going to explain some of the cool engineering details of the reservoir.
We are currently on preload mound for 473, the structure for 473, which is the main discharge structure for cell 2. We're about midpoint on the northern boundary. If you look to the west, you can see the other preload mounds. You've got 471 on the right, far right. Next moving left is 470. Then you've got the preload mound, and then 472. To the south, you've got S475, which is the separator dam cell balancing structure. And then to the east, right next to us, is 474. This pump station will replace the LPDD pump station number 1, which provides irrigation water currently to the east side of the project. These are the pump cans. This is the discharge side. Obviously the intake side is closer to the Townsend Canal. All the cofferdam, which allows us to excavate in the dry. Obviously once the structure comes out of the ground, this will all get taken out.
When it's complete, the C43 or Caloosahatchee Reservoir will hold in excess of 55 billion gallons of fresh water. It'll span a staggering 10,700 acres, and the perimeter of the entire reservoir will be in excess of 17 miles long. It'll take us at least 6 hours to walk it. As a component of the overall Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, known as CERP, the C43 or Caloosahatchee Reservoir will help to restore and improve the quality, quantity, timing, and the flow of fresh water to maintain a healthy estuary. It's just one piece of the overall effort to restore the entire interconnected Everglades system.